Paul, it's been a long time since I've gotten updated, or we've been updated on the status of the theory of nuclear winter. Could you bring us up to date on that?
Well, nuclear winter is the predicted, from physics calculations, cooling and darkening of the Earth following a nuclear war. Basically what happens is, mainly from the burning of cities, fine particles get put up into the atmosphere, block sunlight, and so it gets darker and cooler. We did, a little more than 5 years ago, a set of calculations showing that the effect was horrendous, even for a small nuclear war. That the burning of 100 downtowns globally was enough to produce a hemispheric-wide global nuclear winter. And there have been a lot of debates on it because it has a set of very disturbing implications about the nuclear arms race. It challenges the fundamental ideas of nuclear deterrence. And there's been a lot of fighting. What's happened now is that there's been a very nice convergence. Some of the prior claims that it's only a nuclear autumn, it's not so bad, it's not as bad as a nuclear winter, turn out to have occurred from everybody not putting the same smoke at the same altitudes. When everybody starts with the same starting conditions, you end up with the same very serious effects. So now that there's a convergence in the science, it's important to understand what the policy implications are. One policy implication, it comes back to your question a minute ago about how many nuclear weapons is enough, is the idea that if Nation A makes a massive attack, for whatever reason, on Nation B, Nation B doesn't do anything to defend itself or to retaliate. Nevertheless, the smoke that gets raised over Nation B circulates around the world, covers Nation A. Nation A gets cold and dark and the agriculture fails, and Nation A has destroyed itself by launching a nuclear war on Nation B. The main consequence of nuclear winter is massive agricultural failures, and many international study groups have now concluded that the net result in mass starvation can account for many billions of lives.
Well, there's only 5 billion. How many is many?
Well, hard to quantify, but you're absolutely right. It's a big fraction of the human community, and that's the long-term effect. And the prompt effects, you know, you're going to kill many hundreds of millions, maybe 1 or 2 billion people, in the direct consequence of a nuclear war. So it now appears that that nuclear war certainly will destroy the nations involved with the nuclear war, almost certainly will destroy the global civilization, and might just possibly destroy the human species. So that's another calibration of how serious the stakes are these days, how high the stakes are, because of our technology. Nuclear war has put us in a position to do utter devastation to our species. Putting greenhouse gases in the atmosphere promises, if that's the right word, a global catastrophe, not just destruction of farmland, flooding, some places drought, other places rise in sea level, inundation of coastal cities all over the planet. That's serious stuff. The depletion of the ozone layer from these chlorofluorocarbon compounds lets more ultraviolet light from the sun down to the surface of the Earth. Skin cancer is a serious consequence. That's the one we hear mostly about, especially us light-skinned people. Dark-skinned people are much better protected against it. But the more serious aspect of it is that the ultraviolet light attacks the little one-celled plants that are at the base of the food chain. You know, those are the guys that the next guys eat, and the next guys, and way up at the top of that ecological pyramid, there's us. And we're ultimately eating the one-celled plants that have been processed through lots of intermediate plants and animals. And so again, we're messing around with the global environment in a very serious, very stupid way. And we just have to get our technology in hand. It's not enough to say that corporations can do whatever they want as long as they make a profit. Not if they're putting at risk people all over the world. They can't. There has to be a new way of approaching this. And we can't say that one nation can do what it wants within its borders. Because, as I said before, what you do in one country's borders has consequences all over the planet.